Hi everyone. I thought I'd stop in today and do a little punching. Kind of had a little sore throat this week, so I haven't been doing a whole lot of work. Just finally starting to feel a little bit better. But I thought I'd stop in and while I was working on this little house that is designed by Lori Brecklin, I thought I would just at least pop in here and show you this vine and how I can start from one thing, and possibly I'm going to try not to cut my threads at all until I get done with this whole vine here. Today I've got a Morgan hoop that I'm using instead of my gripper frame. And what I do on my Morgan hoops is on the outside hoop, I'll take a wool yarn and wrap the whole outside with a wool yarn tightly. And that kind of helps with the slippage, kind of helps keep that weaver's cloth a little bit tighter. And today I'm using my Valdani thread, pearl number 12. I like that because of the size. And using 2 strands is pretty equivalent to, let's say, 6 strands of DMC. Or if you prefer and you have the 3-strand Valdani balls, you can also use that. And you would use either 2 balls, or just like the pearl, you can pull the inside strand out and get 2 strands out of 1 ball of the 3-strand. And I was asked the other day what I had on my Ultra Punch. And it's just simply a piece of medical foam tape. And it does create a little bit of a cushion. Fingers get tired, so that just relieves a little bit of pressure there. So I'm going to get started here. I probably won't do a whole lot of talking. My voice is still not quite there. But anyway, I'm going to get started, and I hope you enjoy following along. I am out at my mom's today. It's my father passed away back in November, and mom's still living by herself at her home, and we're not comfortable really with her staying by herself, so I have 1 sister and 2 brothers, so we take turns staying with her all week. So if you hear some noise in the background, that might be Mom. And you can see I have my bevel towards the camera. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm trying to keep an eye on it. I'm not all about speed. Yeah, when I get going and I'm not trying to show somebody something, I'm going to be going a little bit faster. Or when I'm filling in a big section, you know, you end up getting faster. But don't worry about that. Get the technique. Technique's the important part. And please, it can be so frustrating. Just don't give up. Because I guarantee you, once you get it, you're going to love it. You see, when I get here, you know, I have to keep it going the same direction. Now it's not going out the side. It's I'm going straight forward. I'll get here. I'm going to switch back, and it's going to be coming out the side. Sorry about that. There was a break in the video. I'm using my phone, so it had a maximum. Okay, so here I've finished that top part. As you can see, I'm just going to stop here. I'm going to pull this up, and I'm going to move over here, and I'm going to start working on this leaf. This might end up being separated into more than one video, and if it does, just once I load it up to YouTube, I think we'll be fine. So So I'm coming back down the outside of this leaf. Once I got in there, I'm going to make just a slight pickup to get back into that corner. Trying to get this just right so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, on this side I'm going to come back down straight forward instead of sideways, because what you end up doing, moving, is trying to keep your needle from going into the loops that you just did. So think of that. Think of where your loops would be, and then just try to make sure that you're kind of punching away from where those loops are at. That's something to keep in mind. You could, I'll show you at the same time. See, I can turn. It's either way you want to do it. That's the thing about this. It's just what makes it easiest for you. There's no wrong way, no right way. And I'm going to show you what happens if you trap your thread. Look, I've got my finger back here, and I don't say you don't realize this little finger back here is a hold of that. Sometimes people don't understand. What am I doing wrong? They won't stay. Well, if you trap that, watch my needle and see what's going to happen here in a few minutes when the thread can't flow. Because my fingers got it caught, you're going to find out that you got to get a little bit more tension on it. Look what's going on. It won't do anything. See that? And that's because I've got the thread trapped. Because I had that thread trapped with my other finger, it couldn't continue to go. So just make sure that that thread is always flowing freely. Sometimes the direction you go in, I completely ran out of space. I had to stop. Just be, you know, from escaping boredom. You know, I've been going that direction. I think I'm going to change things up. That's why I'm telling you, you know, it's all about personal preference. One of the other things that helps is, if you can see my hand, my other hand is on the underside. And as I'm punching, I'll actually create a little bit more tension. You see, if you can see that coming up, I'll create a little bit more tension with my hand to make sure that we have a drum type area where we're punching. So I'm pushing underneath to try to make sure I got a good taut fabric. So you see it, and you notice I haven't cut my thread yet. I'm just creating a loop and going over to the next leaf. And using these variegated threads, directionally you don't get a whole lot of difference between whether I turn it, the work, or whether I keep going back and forth. You're not going to get a whole lot of different look when you're working with these variegated threads. Does it matter if I start back here or up here? Doesn't matter. The object is that we're going to fill in that space. I might decide this time I'm gonna turn it around. I'm gonna come back the other way. But once I do that, now then I have to worry about the inside. I have to worry about the direction of my loops. Or if I stay going just up and down from the one side, I can always be punching away from the loops that I just did. So I didn't mean to turn my work away from you so that you couldn't see. Sorry for the stops, but I've had to move some videos around to try and be able to finish this. So I'm going to punch and punch and punch and not do as much talking so that I can try to get this done. I want to say I do appreciate your questions and thanks for following, and I hope you enjoy my videos. Truly love being able to help people learn. Actually, this is an awful long way to go, so I am going to go ahead and cut that thread. And then I'll go ahead and take a minute, and I'll just go ahead and clip all the other threads too. I do this as I'm going so that I always have a clean, project's always pretty clean on the back. Okay, so I'm going to start down here, and that way I can just move work my way up to those last two leaves. Sometimes you say, well, why do you jerk your hand around? What's the purpose of that? Sometimes it's just that I don't like to feel where the thread's at. I'm hitting my hand, or it's nothing that's important to the process. Sometimes that's just to create, a little bit of slack in the thread coming out of the ball. 2 more leaves, almost finished. Sorry. Keep trying to look up here at my phone and make sure that we're in the frame, and that doesn't always happen. I'll try to get this done before I run out of space again. I think there's about 4 minutes on each video, and so last leaf, yay! And I'll move on to the door, and then to the roof, and then I'll fill in the house. Oops. See what happened? I got right back into the same spot, and I knocked the loop out. Now there's sometimes when there could actually be a knot in the thread. I've found that in the Valdani before, inside the ball. And so if your thread's not trapped, like you don't have it wrapped around your finger or something, and you start having where the needle won't leave a loop, then there's a possibility that there was a knot, and it's down inside your needle. And the only way to take care of that is just to go ahead and stop punching, cut your threads off, pull the thread back out of the needle, and then rethread. You'll probably find a knot in there. So I'm almost finished here. I hope you've enjoyed my video today and that you've learned something. And please, if you have any questions at all, I'm more than happy to answer them. So take care, and I hope you all have a happy Mother's Day tomorrow. I know I sure will. I'm going to take my mom to church, and then, Sunday. Gosh, I'm getting ahead of myself. Tomorrow is my grandson's birthday. And then Sunday we'll have Mother's Day, and wishing you all the best and have a great weekend. Thanks again for stopping by. I thought I'd step back in here and show you both sides. This is the back side of the punch, and then this is the front side. So you can see the progress that we made. Thanks again. Have a good day.